Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into a fascinating topic that's intrigued humanity for centuries, luck. More specifically, we'll be exploring the psychology behind luck and how it influences our lives. In the vast landscape of human psychology, the concept of luck serves as a fascinating lens through which to explore the intricacies of the human mind. I am deeply intrigued by the interplay between luck and psychology, plus how our perceptions of luck shape our thoughts, emotions, and our behaviors. So let's dive into what luck is and how we can manipulate it in our own lives. So, what exactly is luck? By definition, it is about chance. It's an elusive thing we have no control over. Luck, often viewed as a force beyond our control, has profound implications for our mental well-being and our decision-making processes. Because luck is not just about chance occurrences, it's also about how we perceive and interpret those events. So let's dive into the psychology behind luck. From the attribution bias, where individuals attribute outcomes to either internal factors such as skill or effort, or external factors such as luck or circumstance, to the illusion of control, where we overestimate our ability to influence outcomes. Luck permeates our cognitive landscape in subtle yet profound ways. One of the most intriguing aspects of luck is its subjective nature. What may be considered lucky by one person can be perceived as unlucky by another, highlighting the role of individual perceptions and beliefs in shaping our experiences of luck. Moreover, we have the hindsight bias, which leads us to perceive outcomes as more predictable after they have occurred. This further complicates our understanding of luck and its impact on our lives. So, let's take a closer look at these three psychological constructs and a couple of ways we can work with our perceptions, our intention, and attention to be a little more lucky in everyday life. First up, let's talk about the attribution bias. This is the tendency we have to attribute outcomes to either an internal factor like our own skill or effort, or an external factor like luck or circumstances. When we succeed, we often credit our abilities, but when we fail, it's easier to blame an external factor like luck or someone else. Interestingly enough, those with depression tend to attribute their successes and failures in the opposite direction. So understanding this bias can help us become more aware of how we interpret our successes and failures and therefore what we assign to them. Next, let's discuss the illusion of control. As humans, we have a deep-seated need to feel in control of our lives. And this bias leads us to believe that we have more control over outcomes than we actually do. I know this might be an uncomfortable statement for some, but most of our life is not in our control. What is 100% within our control is how we perceive what we experience. Our perception of the events and experiences plays a huge role in our ability to regulate ourselves and engage with mental health in our environment. Because we often believe that we have more control than we really do, we do all sorts of things to try and control the world around us. That's why we often engage in superstitious behaviors or rituals to increase our perceived control over luck or our world. Like carrying lucky charms or performing a pre-game ritual, these things help us feel more in control. But perhaps one of the most interesting aspects of luck is the hindsight bias. So this is the tendency that we have to perceive outcomes as more predictable after they've occurred. We may look back on successful events and think, well, of course that was going to happen. But in reality, the outcome may have been far from certain. We might forget how uncertain we were during the actual event because it is so uncomfortable, and it reminds us just how scary a situation was or how out of control and out of our control the situation really was. Understanding this bias can help us avoid falling into the trap of hindsight bias and recognize the role that luck plays in shaping our experiences. So now that we understand a bit about our biases and illusions, let's talk a little bit about perception, intention, and attention. From a psychological standpoint, our perception of luck can influence our mental health, our self-esteem, and our overall sense of well-being. Individuals who perceive themselves as unlucky may experience feelings of helplessness and despair, while those who view themselves as lucky may feel more optimistic and resilient in the face of adversity. As a psychologist, it is my duty to help individuals navigate their perceptions of luck and develop healthier ways of thinking and coping. Through somatic psychology interventions, cognitive behavioral techniques, mindfulness practices, and psychoeducation, individuals can learn and challenge negative thought patterns, cultivate gratitude, and embrace uncertainty with a sense of resilience and empowerment. We can build our resilience by focusing on what we can control, our perception of the experiences, no matter what is happening around us. It is about how we think about what's happening that makes the most impact on it, positive or negative, on our mental health. We might not like any of the choices in front of us, but perceiving that we are making the best choice with what we have helps tremendously. When we are experiencing something negative, our ability to remind ourselves that we are not our circumstances saves us from the pit of despair. Acceptance of the situation helps us see what options we have to navigate through it. It doesn't mean we like it or approve of it or want it to be like this all the time. It's just that we accept what is truly happening in this moment. When we approach a situation with acceptance, we are able to step back from the situation, which allows us to manage it differently, often with more efficiency and more success. Again, it doesn't mean we like it, but it does mean we are approaching it with more emotional regulation. So now I want to talk about a moment of intention. When we live a life full of intention, we are setting up our attention to see and find the things that will help us reach the desired outcome. When we do this well, it can feel like, of course that was going to happen, because we are finding and following the opportunities presented to us. We can see and follow these opportunities when we are clear in what we want. This is an important aspect of the psychology of attention. When we choose to pay attention to something, we amplify it. An exercise I often give my clients is to notice blue cars as they move through their day. 100% of the time, they find more blue cars than they've ever noticed before. This is because the brain was focused on the intention of seeing blue cars. Thus, their attention saw what was already around them. This is the basic premise of goal setting, being clear in your intentions for the experience you want to have. The reasons for meditation, prayer, and ritual all tie back into this idea. Those activities help us direct our attention, which helps us successfully complete our goal. So beware of what you put your attention on. Negative self-talk, you'll hear more of it. Things you hate about the world, you'll find more of them, and evidence for what you don't like in the world will compound. On the other hand, put your attention towards positive things, things you love, things you want more of, and you will find those too. You choose your intention, thus your attention, and in the end, what you find. This doesn't leave it all up to luck, but it is a practice you must cultivate so you aren't just blown around by what other people are thinking, saying, and doing, and what they might want you to believe and feel. This is powerful stuff. Set yourself up for positive living, but guard what and who you allow into your life so that you can focus on what's most important to you. Ultimately, the relationship between luck and psychology is a complex and multifaceted one, as is everything in our psyche. Reflecting on the intricate workings of the human mind by exploring this relationship with curiosity, compassion, and a commitment to personal growth, we can gain valuable insights into ourselves and the world around us. This can lead us to greater fulfillment and more well-being in our lives. So in conclusion, how can we change our perception of luck? It's all about embracing uncertainty, focusing on your efforts, and learning from both your successes and your failures. It's about understanding our perceptions, the control we have in focusing our attention, and the clarity we gain by setting intentions for the life we want to live, thus setting ourselves up to notice the opportunities all around us all the time that are needed to reach our goals. They're right there in front of us, ready for us to reach out and seize them. By acknowledging the role that luck, intention, and perception play in our lives, we can cultivate a more balanced and resilient mindset, no matter what life is currently throwing at us. And there you have it, folks, the psychology of luck in a nutshell. Remember, it's not just about chance. It's also about how we perceive and respond to the events in our lives. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay curious.